Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are paying any attention, okay, if you guys have eyeballs on your heads, y'all have seen this brand new release. Okay boys, hey, I'm a little cheesing, I'm not gonna lie, because I told y'all, I know, everybody was like, oh my god, Alex LC this, Alex LC that, oh my god, it's the new meta, you have to focus on it, blah 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 blah. Well, you know what, you guys dropped in double museums, and now you guys are hurting. Because you guys did not wait. Because I told y'all the next release could be crazy. It would either pair with Scipio or it would pair with LC. Now, if you already have the LC with the Alex, you can just slot him in. But I told y'all you should not be investing in Alex that KBK2. It's just not worth it. Comparative, you know, the YSG is an economic piece, that Alex is more of a combat piece. Personally, I'm not investing in Alex. But I'm looking at this new comm and I'm like, thank God I didn't invest into Alex, right? Because right now, if you got the LC, you slot him in well. But I mean, if you have like Martel with the double relic, soon to be the triple relic, boom, easy slot. Right, but we're not overthinking it. Okay, we look at this dude. This dude's absolutely nuts. Now, I'll be honest, this is not a first look, because I opened up my Instagram and this was like the first thing I popped. Also, by the way, if you guys are not following me on Instagram at 12-inch penis, y'all gotta be doing that ASAP. Not expecting this. Was not expecting this to be as good as it is. Without further ado, I'll just go through the abilities real quick so we can see where we're at, and then I'll give y'all my thoughts on it. As y'all can tell, I'm already a little excited. So our first ability here, rage requirement 1000, deals smite damage to a target troop, damage factor 2400, then deals extra smite damage up to 3 enemy troops currently attacking this commander's troop. Commanders, you know, the smite damage to people attacking this troop, who cares? Does not really matter, honestly, because this doesn't really proc anything. I mean, it's okay, like, if you're getting swarmed, if you're drooling on yourself. Maybe if you're doing, like, a 5v5 or a 7v7, you don't want to pull him back. I just don't see where Alex is, or I don't see where LC is ever getting, like, targeted, right? So, William LC, so this just means he's not going to get targeted, which is kind of awesome, I guess. Like, that's pretty cool. I don't really care too much about the second half of it, but 3 target AoE 2400 damage factor is awesome. We'll just take that off rip. The next one, I'm not going to try and pronounce these just because I know my 2 Scottish viewers out there might get upset. So we're just gonna call this Scots and stop talking after that. 10% health, 30% attack, 20% movement speed. 30% attack, I'm not too ecstatic about. Attack is already a very, very saturated stat for infantry. But whatever, bro. Whatever. I'm not really gonna complain about 60% stats, especially if 20% of it is movement speed. We're in a situation where we're looking at like Gorgo LC, but it was just too slow. So Alex LC with its extra stats was just insane comparatively. Hell yeah, bro. Mark me in. Next one is Line of the North. 10% less normal damage. Double thumbs up. We take that off rip. That means obviously less damage when people attack us, but more importantly, less counterattack damage. That's awesome. And less smite damage, of course, too. The smite damage is good to lower where we can, but mostly the counterattack damage. Whenever this troop deals smite damage with a damage factor greater than 1000, there's an 80% chance that the damage will increase by 40%. That's crazy. That is nuts. That comes out to like a 32% damage bonus. You know, basically either like, you know, one every 10 auto attacks or something like that. This looks like it actually is going to work on the abilities. So that's going to be kind of nuts if it does. I almost don't think they can just put in 40% extra damage, especially on LC's opener. He hits 5 targets. There's no way they can just buff that by 40. This has to work on auto attacks. I'm not sure though. When attacking on the map, the commander's troop deals 10% more normal damage, 10% more smite damage. I have smite damage specifically for abilities, so this is really gonna fire the ability with an extra 40% damage. Why? That's so strong. That's so obnoxious. Oh my god, that means if you're dipping in and out of battle, like your first hit is really, really strong. This is gonna be a really good skirmishing troop, which I guess they need if they're gonna replace Alex, huh? 10% smite and 10% normal. I mean, like, this is not the best ability on the planet, but I mean, it's not like horrible. Actually, this ability is super weak, but it's not the weakest. And finally, our expertise. Whenever this commander uses an active skill or is slowed, it dispels all slow effects from up to 3 nearby troops and gives them damage absorbing mighty shields. This sucks. I mean, like, this is not like the worst thing I've ever seen, but this is pretty bad. And this last skill is not great. And honestly, I mean, like, this third skill is good, but I mean, like 2%, like 20% damage increase and 2% damage reduction, like, that ain't bad for a 1. Like, look at how much, look at the budget you can have in this commander. You can enter Season of Conquest and you can run a 5-5-1-1. That is 190 sculptures, and then you're kind of done, bro. I mean, you can finish this third ability if you want to, but I mean, like, this fourth ability don't really matter. This expertise doesn't really matter. And I doubt it. I doubt that, like, you know, Lilith is going to open up their ear holes and be like, oh my god, people don't want to expertise him immediately and buff him. There's no shot he gets buffed. They could buff up his expertise. His expertise is like a little weak, but the whole commander, like, as a whole, is like gross. Like this combo, actually, even like all three of these pieces is just disgusting. He might actually be more comparable to Alex than I thought, though. Actually, no, I think the AoE is too strong. I think the AoE is too strong, and the Lion of the North being able to have like LC primary is probably like disgusting. Also, they don't talk about it here, but they also have like a new tree that we saw on Instagram, which was the smite tree. To the bitter end, when you enter a battle, 2% bonus to all smite damage types, takes 6% less skill damage. This basically just looks like the regular attack tree, but I mean, you know, it's got better keystones, so now attack is like a viable thing to go into. So for your attack commanders, like LC can now probably be like a decent primary. I mean, it wasn't like he was a terrible primary before, but Thunderous Smite is replacing Last Stand, it looks like. And Last Stand, you just couldn't run it, right? Like this skill was simply too bad because it silenced yourself. It was actually unplayable. I mean, there's like no shot you're ever gonna want to run that. But I think LC is definitely the primary here. So the attack tree is going to turn to the smite tree. I assume they're going to, and there's no way that they leave LC sitting with the attack tree when the smite tree is out now. But I mean, if that's the case and this guy's going to be the primary, I'd really like to be able to put LC as the primary. But I mean, like this is crazy. This is an awesome pickup. I would say, so I recently released a video. So what does this mean for our accounts? What this means is now your Season of Conquest transition, going infantry as your first T5 is once again the move. Going for your 4-piece infantry set with the infantry, you know, infantry is once again the move, boys. This means that when we are going into Season of Conquest, the things that we're going to want to have on deck, we're going to have at least a Hope Cloak, at least a set helm, at least set gloves. Bare minimum, that's what we're going to be running with, right? We're going to have Cower X Humility here, Gatekeeper Shield, Scarlet Hounds. If you're a more advanced player, you're going to have Hope Cloak, set helm, set gloves, set boots, set shield, right? The set weapon. And then you're gonna have Cower X Humility. I know I have Eternal Knight, don't build this. Some people were like, oh, with the new Iconic Refine or blah, 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 you know, you're gonna wanna get the Eternal Knight. The reason why Eternal Knight is not good is not because it can't be better than Cower X Humility, it's because it's super goddamn expensive to get there. Just obscenely pricey. There's just no reason for it to be so expensive for the stats that it gives. There's so much other stuff you need before it. Like if I have a final build, I don't think Cower X Humility is better. I think it is extremely cost efficient comparatively. Cavalry is still great. I still like QB. However, I don't think any single person is skipping the William Wallace plus LC combo. I think William Wallace plus LC is too strong. I think QB is awesome. I'm still going to finish my cavalry set. I'm just not going to make my cavalry set as good as it was going to be before. So this is not going to be a Navarre's anymore. This is going to be Nicette's. This is going to be a Gladiator. This is going to be a Heart of the Saint, right? I'm going to expertise my QB. I'm going to run my QB YSG. I'm going to start saving sculptures immediately for William. How much better is William than Alex? If I already have a full Alex, do I really need William? Probably not. William is a very good commander. I think he's going to do a lot of damage. How much better do I think William is going to be than Alex? I think William will be at least a 20 to 30% improvement. So I think William's AoE is going to make him do a lot more than Alex would normally do. This does not mean that Alex LC is bad. If you already have Alex LC and your options are to either bench Alex or move on to extra marches, I would probably move on to other marches before I invest into this new guy. Because let's say you have Scipio, Alex, and LC. Well, investing in the new guy is now good because you can have 2 infantry. But if you only have Alex and LC, I know a lot of people are like that right now, or if you only have Scipio and LC, I'd be more cautious before you do it. This new guy does a lot of damage, but he's like a better Scipio pairing. This is what he reminds me of, right? We're hitting 3 targets, right? We don't have a health debuff, so that's also important to note. But overall, he's a 5-5-1-1, and he's an absolute tank, right? So when we consider the 700 sculpts for Alex versus the 200 sculpts for William Wallace, the 200 sculpts for William Wallace are going to be way better. It's not going to be close, right? We definitely want this guy for his cost efficiency, right? He reminds me a lot of like when we go for the 5-5-1-1 or the 5-5-1 on Scipio as a budget march before we started investing into this, right? Because over here, we see Scipio with his like 55-65% stats. We see him with his 3 target with the health reduction. I think I'd rather have this, honestly, than William Wallace's first. But I mean, like, William Wallace is also smite damage, which means it's going to be doing more damage as well. Just food for thought, right? When we think about half investments, like William Wallace is awesome to pair with LC. That doesn't mean that Alex is bad. That doesn't mean that Scipio is bad. That just means he's a different investment. If you already have Alex, perhaps William is not, you know, your primary investment. If you already have Alex, you know, maybe you shouldn't go for Scipio either. Alex LC is still an excellent march and should not just immediately be replaced. If you are a super late game player, like I am a super late game player, right now I'm running probably Guan Sip, Alex LC, or if I'm just running one March, I'm running Scipio LC. I know some people like Alex LC better. You know, potato, right? They're not like that far off. However, currently, you know, am I going to be running Guan Scipio? Guan Scipio's got a good relic, perhaps, but I might just be running like Scipio, Alex, and the new comp with LC. I mean, Alex is great with LC, but I mean, he's not that bad with Scipio. And having Scipio's support tree to fire off more Alex abilities isn't that bad. This new com is strong. He's not the strongest, but he's awesome. Okay, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying, like, if you look at his abilities compared to everybody else, is this second ability the shit? Yes. Is his first ability awesome? Yes. This third ability is a very strong nuke, a little depending on how it works. Fourth ability, a little weak, but not bad. Expertise, weak. In fact, the expertise is very weak. Dispelling a slow is awesome, right? But dispelling a slow every 10 seconds, nah. This over time is going to lead to a lot better trades. You know, reducing damage factor on 3 nearby and allied troops is nice, but you have to remember this is literally what Alex does. So this guy is supposed to be a slightly better Alex and replace him. But, you know, you're probably going to have to expertise this man before he's better than Alex. So food for thought. If you already have the expertise Alex, probably no need to go for him immediately. But if you don't have the expertise Alex, you know, this guy's probably better, and he's better on a budget. And then you can move on to bigger and better things like ZL Herman, which, you know, you're still going to have to be getting ASAP. This man also doesn't have like any slows or anything. So I mean, like, if he's alone as a duelist March, he's nice, but you know, you're going to need allies to start like slowing your opponents as well. But he's slippery. He is tanky. He does a lot of damage. He's an awesome first investment. I think William LC is probably the schmove. Anyway, guys, this is my rant on the new commander. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys have arguments to be made, of course, these are my first impressions. Okay, guys? So if you guys have some deep down information that you think I haven't seen KVK in like 2 months, so maybe your boy's a little out of touch. If you guys have any critiques or any comments on it, feel free to go to the comments below and comment some stuff. I will be responding to the vast majority, I'll say. And without further ado, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys want to help support the channel, you guys can always subscribe. You guys can always donate the Streamlabs link in the description below. If you guys are interested in coaching, I do coaching on stream for 35 bucks a session and off stream for 75 bucks a session. If you got coaching, you'd already know that I was telling y'all to wait for this new infantry commander before you did anything crazy, and I made a couple videos on such, so I'm glad to see him out, and now I can more thoroughly help people. So have yourselves a great one. Shout out to Lilith for sponsoring this video, and have yourselves a great day.